guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are doing the top 10 or worst 10 movies of 2023. Yes, on my letterbox I have done now the top 10, and now we are back into my letterbox and looking at my top 10 worst movies of the year. So this is the 10 at the bottom of the list. There's 71 movies in the list for the year, and shockingly a lot of them are low scores. Like I think last year I may have given a half a star or maybe a 1 star. None of them this year. They are 1.5 stars, the lowest. But yeah, honorable mentions for me then. Cocaine Bear didn't make the worst 10, but it wasn't great. Didn't like it at all. The Mother on Netflix starring Jennifer Lopez weirdly was the most popular Netflix movie of 2023, but I just didn't enjoy it. Gave it a 2 star. Napoleon, which is a big surprise really, 2.5 star. I gave that, didn't enjoy that. Ferrari, I gave that a 2.5 star. I've reviewed that recently on the channel. Yeah, so honorable mentions there. They just missed out. They were like 61st, 60th, 58th, you know, 59th, 55th of the year. The worst 10, so we're going to go from best and then get to the worst one eventually. So then in at number 10 then, my 10th worst movie of the year was Megan. I gave this a 2 star. This was like one of those that people did enjoy. This is the whole AI roboted person that was a girl that was like best friends or like, you know, developed to be friends with person, but it kind of turned into a bit of a thrillery, horror-y type of thing. Directed by Gerard Johnston. I didn't enjoy this film. I found it to be pretty bland, pretty dull. You know, reminds me a bit of Chucky, but the whole look of the doll thing was just weird. And as I say, gave it a 2 star. Couldn't care less about it, and just don't want to watch it again. So yeah. Okay, then in at number 9, the next movie then is Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. This is like, I don't know how many times they have like revamped Transformers, but I was losing count. This one is headed up by Anthony Ramos, so he's been in things like Hamilton, and he's done In the Heights recently. I think he's done some voice work as well. We also had Peter Dinklage in this movie as a voice, Peter Cullen, Ron Perlman, Dominique Fishback. Yeah, decent-ish cast. But the film was weird. It went back to like, you know, Optimus Prime and trying to find this like thing that landed on Earth many moons ago. Again, very strange. Don't really know where it fits in. In like the timeline. It's a reboot, but then it's not a reboot. It's like a prequel, or I have no idea what it is. Anyways, I will not be rushing to watch it again. I gave that a 2 star. In at number 8 then, we have another 2 star movie, and this is like the worst 2 star movie of all, and I gave this to The Dive. The movie really was a dive. So last year, if you remember, there was a movie out called Fall, which was like climbing up this thing, and really good. Loved that. This was like similar type of thing. Girl gets trapped underwater. She's limited with oxygen and all that. So her friend has to go down, get more oxygen, go up, get it, bring it down, all that jazz. I gave it a 2 star because the whole concept of the film was one thing, and I enjoyed that part of it, but it was just poorly shot. It was like really dark too many times. You couldn't really make out what was actually on the screen. That could be something to do with the cinema screen and the projector, of course, but at the time of watching, it was really off-putting and I didn't really enjoy it. And it had these like splotchinesses going off around the screen. Like, it was really jarring and really distracting. So I gave that a 2 star. Won't be watching it anytime soon. In number 7 then, we have a 1.5 star. So this is the best 1.5 star. I gave this to Wonka. This is the Timothée Chalamet movie. Again, this is one that people I know did enjoy and didn't enjoy. I know a lot of people did enjoy this movie, but I just didn't enjoy it. You know, a lot of people did. This stars Hugh Grant, Timothée Chalamet, Olivia Colman, Jim Carter, Rowan Atkinson, Matt Lucas. Very British cast, you know, decent in that aspect, but I just thought that the musical aspect was really off-putting. The songs were really forgetful. And I just think there was a lot of plot holes in there in comparison to the other Willy Wonka movies that we had. They didn't really go back to what it's known as. Like in both of the films, the Johnny Depp version and the Gene Wilder version, Slugworth was seen as like this, you know, bad company and, you know, bad omen of Willy Wonka's. And then in Wonka, he was like friends with the Slugworth relative. So in the later films then, he would have remembered her because it would have carried on. Anyways, didn't enjoy it. Too much going on. didn't like it. In at number 6 then, we have, I believe this is like one of the worst, this is the worst Apple TV Plus movie of the year. There is a few more streaming movies down below, but this is The Family Plan. I gave this a 1.5 star. I've actually reviewed this like maybe a week or so ago. It stars Mark Wahlberg. Didn't enjoy it at all. The comedy didn't land. I actually said in the review that Mark Wahlberg just needs to forget about comedy now, because some of this like serious stuff actually does land and it's really, really good. This was just boring. It reminded me of Instant Family or like We're the Millers. That kind of thing has already been done with a family and action and all that. It just didn't. I was bored. Very, very bored. Didn't land. And yeah. The Family Plan, 1.5 star. Number 5 then, again, another 1.5 star. This is The Exorcist Believer. This is the sequel to The Exorcist. Now, I haven't seen The Exorcist at all, the first one. You don't need to see it. But to be honest, I thought it was one of the dumbest and stupidest movies of anything. There was so much bad stuff going on in this film that it just didn't really make sense what was actually happening, and it was really hard to actually review. These two girls disappear into the woods and they return 3 days later with no memory of what happened. The father of one of the girls, like, he seeks out like somebody to help, which is like, I believe, the person from the first Exorcist movie. To see if she could like help out because of what happened to her daughter 50 years ago. Can she help out with his current daughter? Yeah, that was the basic concept of the movie. Boring, nothing really creative in there. It was just a bog standard movie, but it felt a bit like a straight to DVD crap horror, you know? So, not great. Top 4 then now, we have got Haunted Mansion next. A 1.5 star. This is the 2023 remake. Obviously, before this, we had the Eddie Murphy version. I didn't like this at all. It was very, like, there's a lot of stuff going on in the film whereby there was a lot of, like, product placement. And it was forced product placement, which put me off entirely. The actual comedic value, I thought, was a bit dull. We had appearances in this movie, though. Again, a star-studded cast. Rosario Dawson, Owen Wilson, Lakeith Stanfield, Danny DeVito, Jared Leto, Jamie Lee Curtis, and it was bland. It was really bland. They released it for a start in August, so that was my first critics, was why release this in August? Why not wait 2 months and release it on Halloween for kids? Kids never have a Halloween film to watch. But the film just didn't need to be remade, didn't need anything, it felt like a straight to Disney Plus movie, but they wanted people to pay tickets for it, obviously. And yeah, it wasn't good. I didn't enjoy it. Forced. There was this like house that was bought, obviously, and that was the Haunted Mansion, and then everyone that went into the Haunted Mansion was like kind of trapped by it. So yeah, top 3 now then, and the this is actually the worst cinema movie of the year. The other 2 are streaming movies. So this movie is Meg 2: The Trench. The only thing good about this film that I said in the review was that I saw it in 4D, so it made it a bit more interesting because the seat was moving around. Other than that, I probably would have been like a 0.5 star, if not a 1 star. The film was a carbon copy of the first film. The first film, they had to go below this thing and keep below it so that the Megs wouldn't find them. And in this one, instead of going below this thing, they basically had to stay in this trench. It was the exact same concept as the first one. A lot of ridiculous stuff going on in there. Obviously, we get Jason Statham in this film, and he's literally just got like a spear and he's taking on this massive shark. Very unrealistic, very... just doesn't make sense. So yeah, give it a 1.5 star. Okay, then, number 2 then now, and this is the worst Netflix film of the year for me. Again, another one that was like, this movie is actually really, really high on the streamed like hours on Netflix. This is Your Place or Mine. Stars Reese Witherspoon and Ashton Kutcher. It's very much like a love movie. I saw this so long ago now that I can't even remember what happened. It's that forgetful. It's just a bog standard comedy movie about falling in love with somebody, but they're never really like actually being together. The script was dull. There was no comedy in there at all. I feel like Ashton Kutcher was like a bad casting, I think I remember saying at the time. I feel like he needed to be funnier. He needed to be like an Adam Sandler or something, or a Mark Wahlberg, you know? It wasn't great. And then number 1, the worst movie of the year for me now. Again, controversial. Some people did like this, but I actually gave it to Peter Pan and Wendy. This is the Disney Plus movie now. Obviously, I know the story of Peter Pan. I gave it a 1.5 star. But believe it or not, this is a movie that I just couldn't finish. I actually got to the crocodile part and I was just... my eyes were actually hurting. It was so boring, so dull. Why anyone would choose Peter Pan and Wendy over the original Peter Pan movie, or Hook, or even Pan. Like, these films are better than this version. I don't know what Disney's doing. Whenever Disney have done these straight to Disney Plus releases, Lady and the Tramp, Pinocchio, and now Peter Pan and Wendy, they do not land. Little Mermaid, I enjoy, like that. Those movies, I went to the cinema. I do enjoy them. But like, for some reason, this one, straight to Disney, it just was boring. So there it is, guys. There is my top 10 worst movies of 2023. And it feels good to refresh for 2024. We have a new list on Letterboxd. If you want to follow my Letterboxd, it is there. Please go over and follow. It is at Movies with James over there. Yeah, if you want to follow, you can get to see the scores of my movies before I put them out, so you can like follow me and like them and comment on the posts, and then wait for the video to come out, and then you see my thoughts. So yeah, but there you go, guys. If you did miss my top 10 best movies of the year, there it is there on the screen. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Of course, stay tuned for more videos coming soon. 2024 is going to be a big year, and as I say, stay tuned. We've got more stuff coming on the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.